Morning and welcome to DCT. How are you? Day 15. Yeah, day 15. Yesterday was hump day. Halfway through. Bravo, well done. Seriously. It isn't natural for us to do the same thing every day in a positive sense. And I mean consciously dragging our butt to doing something. It's not easy, but it's so worth doing. So well done. If you're new here, take the 28-day challenge. DCT means that we show up Monday to Friday and we explore a program that is going to help us kick our bad habits and develop some really good positive habits. And the baseline really is the crux of what we're doing is we're taking our time back, and we're doing it in a constructive, organized way with other people so that we get a bit of camaraderie. So I do invite you to share. I do invite you to start commenting. I do invite you to start leaning in, because this is a community activity and it would be nice to hear how you're doing with all of this. But so day 15, right? What we're going to talk about today, every day I talk about something different. And at the end of my little talk, if you will, something positive to think about for your day to reinforce, I practice something called DCT, which is a 5-step grounding activation. So if you're new today, hang around for that because that's really at the heart of what we're doing here, teaching and training our mind into mindful stillness every day, for all of the positive effects that come from meditation. So today is double down. Reinforce your habit. So remember, we're talking about over the next few days, integrate or release. Integrate means to make whole, to make something, to own it, to own that habit, to integrate it more fully, to make it a more positive habit. Or we always have the choice to kick the habit, right? And sometimes releasing a habit, a bad habit, takes time. It may not happen overnight. So we can do something, we can chip away at it, and we can hack a bad habit and create a good habit from it. So you've made it to the other side of hump day. And I think this is where the magic begins. Most programs like this lose between 25% 50% of their audience by this time. So if you're still hanging around, you're in a minority. That means you're really dedicated to what you want to see change. So the phase where your new habit stops feeling awkward and starts feeling natural is the sweet spot that we're after. And there's a lot of science about how that comes about. So you start a new habit, it still feels awkward and not you. There are reasons for that. Consistency is the only way through it. It's everything. All right. So I'm going to quote from a great book that I've been reading lately called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I recommend you buying it, reading it, or knowing more about his philosophy. It's the power of little and often. And here's a quote: habits are a compound interest of self-improvement. The effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. So this is the 1% change principle. So if you improve something by 1% every day within a year, you'll be 37 times better at it. But if you keep doing a bad habit, it gets worse and worse, and the compound builds up the other way. So it's all about rinse and repeat. Do you want to rinse and repeat positively, or do you want to rinse and repeat unconsciously? That's honestly the question. It's not about perfection. An example is, all right, this is a fun one. Remember how many times your parents frog marched you to the bathroom, grilled you, interrogated you, have you brushed your teeth? Have you brushed your teeth? Have you brushed your teeth? Right? Just seemed like the hot question every single day you had to get through, and you resisted it. Whatever. They made you do it. But now look at you. You get up in the morning and very quickly, within within half an hour or so, you've brushed your teeth. It's just something that you do. You don't even think about it. That's that's the example of a really good habit and your parents' consistency. But now we're the parent. We are the ones who drive the change. So we have to be a little bit sometimes as relentless and on our own backs as that parent, just nagging you into that new behavior in the beginning until you onboard it. I want to quote some science now because I love to quote the science studies. Repetition, number one, repetition rewires your brain. Studies show it takes 66 days on average to make a new habit stick. This is from the European Journal of Social Psychology. But by day 15, drum roll, your brain is already creating new neural pathways. So, congratulations. Number two, the reward loop is key. Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit, explains that habits thrive on a cue, routine, reward loop. Yes, loops. That's daily DCT. That's daily meeting here at this time with me and other people. That's a loop and that's reinforcement. So, reinforcing your habit by celebrating the small wins every day. Congratulate yourself for showing up here. Signals to your brain it's a cue. Keep going. Number three, as we've discussed, momentum matters. According to BJ Fogg, the author of Tiny Habits, it's easier to build on an existing habit than to start fresh. That's why we do DCT at 7 a.m., because it's right in the middle of you getting up and starting your day. Use today to reinforce the progress you've already made. Awareness of our bad habits motivates us to want to change. So leverage your dissatisfaction. It's not a bad thing. Don't ignore it. Don't deny it. If you feel bad about something, it needs to get your attention and it's doing it for a reason. And that's a positive thing. So, so bank on that, focus on it, and learn how to hack and stack against your bad habits. Here are some 3 tips to stay active today. Number one, anchor a good habit to something you already do. For example, how about meditating right after brushing your teeth? This creates a natural cue that will make that new habit stick. Two, I love this one. Start ridiculously small. Remember the 1%? If you're feeling resistance, aim for just 2 minutes of meditation. Starting is the hardest part, but once you start, you're going to gain momentum and you're going to compound your success. Three, track your wins. This is why we gave ourselves a big pat on the back yesterday and we didn't do anything. We took a day off, really. It's good to celebrate, right? Celebrate the fact that you're doing this work and that you're doing it when quite often by this time a lot of people would have just quit and got distracted, but you're still here. So really celebrate that. And something that I do is I use something called a habit tracker. It can be a notepad, it can be your iPad, it can be a journal. You mark each day that you show up, it could be a diary, and you just kind of reflect on how much you have shown up and also any insights that come in that day. Because trust me, one day in a few years' time, you're going to look back on those entries and y- your future self is going to thank you, right? All right, day 15 takeaway. Going to wrap it up. You're not just meditating. So, we're about to embark on some meditation. It's not going to be too long and it's only 5 steps. So, I do ask you to stay and experience that. We're not meditating, we're training our brains to prioritize consistency, discipline, and mindfulness. Those are not small things, but they are the things that you discover are in the brains of very successful people. They've trained their brains. That's why they're so successful. So, starting with the brain is where we're going to get the most success. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's never about being perfect, ever. It's about being persistent. That's it. Showing up a little bit every day. Just keep going. And I'd like to leave you with this really cool quote. It's apparently paraphrased from Aristotle. I can't confirm that for sure, but it's by an American philosopher called Will Durant. Quote, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And we get to decide the habits of our lives." So now we're going to meditate. It's not going to be a typical meditation, I don't think, that you've experienced before. There's 5 steps. They're quite active, actually, and it's expedited. So it's a great one for the morning. 5 steps. We're going to start with step number 1, and we call this deep coherence technique. Deep coherence technique. So close your eyes. Put your feet on the ground if they're not already. Now bring your full awareness just to the soles of your feet. Drop down. Filter out everything else and focus instead on the soles of your feet. Every sensation, every bit of skin and muscle, the arch, the ball of your heel, the pad, the sides of your feet, each pad of your toes. Just connect. Now become aware of the ground beneath your feet. The ground beneath your feet. Become aware while you hold awareness of the soles of your feet. So connect to the ground beneath your feet. Feel the texture, the temperature, any sensations. Now close the gap between the soles of your feet and the ground beneath your feet so that they become one. Now drop the awareness that you have in the soles of your feet down through the ground. And as you do so, I want you to imagine a great network of roots. And all of those roots go down. They go down through the various layers of the earth. And I'd like you to push your consciousness, your awareness, and your focus down through all of those roots as they push down through the earth. Down, 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 until those roots connect to the earth's core, which is round and solid and black. It's immovable. Connect to the earth's core through those roots. Become one with the earth's core, and as you do so, find yourself in a warm and black and safe and familiar space. And from here, you realize that you are in fact connected to all living things. Now take that feeling, resonance, frequency, vibration, and draw it up through the roots, your roots. And as you do so, notice the color of, it looks like sap, a golden amber liquid. It is in fact a frequency, and it's the earth's resonance. And it is that you're drawing up, 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 up through your roots until you hit the ground beneath your feet. And that frequency comes up and fills your feet with a relaxing, grounding frequency, connecting you directly to the earth. I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And by the time I get to 1, that relaxing, grounding resonance, vibration is going to fill your entire body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step number 1, grounded to the earth. Step number 2, we're going to do some breath work. We're going to take 5 deep breaths in. Fill up your lungs really deep. You're going to breathe through your nose. We're going to count 4, and we're going to exhale through the mouth. This is called pranayama breath work. And what we're doing here is activating the light body, literally the life force that keeps you healthy. 5 times. Throughout DCT, keep driving your breath in this way, filling your lungs and breathing very deeply, pulling in that oxygen and prana life force. Step number 3, we're going to prime our electromagnetic field. This is a field that runs arm's length all around you. It is the greater you, it is you. And it is from here that you signal from and you receive to. So it's sentient, it's intelligent, and we so often don't connect to it. Now I'm using my hands like this, I'm moving this way as I'm called. But if you're standing up, laying down, I just want you to move how you want to move. And what we say about this step is we say, notice what you notice. Use your hands and your fingers as antennae and sensory pads. Because what you're doing is you're scanning the energy in your own electromagnetic field. And what we're training ourselves to do is to feel the difference in how our field feels on any particular day. Eventually, you become so sensitized to your own electromagnetic field that what happens is all you need to do is this, like use your hands as like satellite dishes, right? Antennae, and just rotate them, and scan your electromagnetic field. And eventually, you just intuitively get more aware of anything, perhaps, that is in your field that shouldn't be. And if that's the case, I'm going to tell you what to do if you don't already know. You can move to where you feel that blockage is, that thing, that energy, and you can send power out of your hand and remove it from your field with your own energy. That's how powerful you are. But it does come with time. You really do have to get in touch. It's not a thinking step. Electromagnetic field primed. Primed for what? Primed for what comes next. Step number 4. We're going to connect to the heart and activate it. Put your hands together. Put them in front of your heart. Open your hands. Now, close your eyes and visualize walking through the middle of your hands into your heart. Walk through your heart center and find yourself in a room, a space, a chamber. It could be a temple. Whatever you see, you see. But this place is very sacred. It is magnificent. It is from here that you connect to the quantum field. It is brightly lit, luminescent, and it feels like home. Now, the light from this space forms a glowing orb of light, and that orb moves towards you. But you're not afraid. You move towards it, and that orb of light grows as it approaches, and as you enter into that ball of light, you become one, and you activate what looks like and feels like a rising sun. A rising sun that casts its rays of light in all directions, back, forward, up, down, side. 360. Shining its rays of brilliance and power throughout your primed electromagnetic field. Now, in DCT, in our community, we call this the Om-powered I am that I am. This is the unlimited you. This is the infinite you. This is the you that is connected to everything. Feel the power of that being. Connect. And gently bring your hands together, noticing the pressure between your palms now. You've generated a power that is very tangible. You can feel it. It's tactile. Get used to feeling your own energy. Play with it. Play with it. Expand it. Pull it in. Expand it. Compress it. You can really play with the quantum field. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to step number 5. And that is connect to the group, the community, the vortex. This is power of 8 stuff. And the reason we do this is because we want to harness and bring in the power of the community that's also meditating at this time. I run that power through my third eye. You can call it the enlightened mind, the conscious mind, it doesn't matter. I bring it through. I connect to the group. I expand that power because it boosts what I've already done. Remember, this is vortex energy. It boosts your own power. And then I run it down into my heart because the heart is a waveform device. We're going to generate a waveform from this power using our heart to expand. We're going to expand horizontally. I want you to see a wave or a ripple on a lake. Expand it out. And we call this coherence because what we've generated is a powerful carrier wave of present moment awareness, grounded focus. That's coherence in a nutshell. And if you run coherence throughout your day, you're going to be present, grounded, aware, and fully in your power. So let that wave, that ripple out. Don't worry when it passes your electromagnetic field that it keeps going. It's going to keep going in all directions today. It's going to keep working for you. You've set it in motion. So your day's already going to be different because of what you've done just now. We always close technique DCT this way. Now I can come across as a bit intense, but this is a joyful thing. Repeat after me. And so it is. For I command my space, and I bless my day, and I bless my world, and I bless all the people in it. It's a joyful thing. So when the amazing things happen today, the opportunities, the relationships, the connections, spontaneous things that maybe at the time feel miraculous, just remember that those things started here. And notice what you notice in the quantum field today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again very, very soon.